Hello everyone, welcome again. Well, in our previous video, we discussed that how you can configure multiple build agent inside the TeamCity server. And now we are going to use the same multiple build agent for running our test case parallelly in multiple browser. So as we know that when I build our project, it is going to generate multiple configuration. So this is the default configuration. This is the configuration for Chrome browser, IE and Phantom.js. So the approach which I'm going to use is that I will create the build configuration for individual browser, and when during the runtime I'm going to replace our configuration file with the respected browser configuration. For example, if I go to bin folder debug, so currently we have the Selenium webdriver.dll.config which contain the configuration coming from app.config. Similarly, we have project dll.chrome.config which contain the same configuration but the browser as the Chrome. So in the TeamCity build configuration, when I want to run in the Chrome, I will delete this file and rename this file as project dll.config. Similarly, if I want to run the test case inside the IE, I'm going to delete this file and rename it. Sorry, I'm going to delete the IE configuration and rename it with this dll.config. And similarly applies for the Phantom.js. So I will go back to TeamCity administration, our project. So here I'm going to edit this configuration and let me call it as execute test inside Firefox, and I will update the short description as to execute script Selenium script in Firefox browser. So in this configuration, I'm not going to make any changes because this is by default will execute the test in the Firefox, and that is our default configuration. Now I'm going to add one more build configuration. So I will copy this build configuration and let me call it as execute test Chrome and click on copy. Update the short description as Chrome. Now in this I'm going to add two more build steps. The first one is going to delete the configuration file, that is a default configuration. Delete. So delete command, and the location is this. So this is the location of the configuration file which I am going to delete and rename our Chrome config to this configuration. Add one more build step in which I am going to rename that file. So rename. So by this process, the default configuration will be replaced by the configuration file which contain the Chrome as a browser. So rename command, so this will be dll.chrome.config to chrome.config to our default configuration file, that is selenium webdriver.dl.config, and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to reorder the build step. So first one is the delete, then rename, then execute the test and generate the report. Now I'm going to create one more build configuration that will be for IE. So I'm going to copy this build configuration and let me call it as Internet Explorer and click on copy. update the short description, and also in the builds tab update the configuration file name. So for this one, this is the configuration file name. So delete remains as it is, but rename will be this. And I'm going to save it. So just let me cross check the command. So I'm going to rename the Selenium webdriver.dll.iconfig to default configuration file. Now once this is done, I will go back to my overview page. Okay, and here I'm going to just make some changes inside the code and check in so that it will start the build process. So I'll just add one new line, build the solution, and commit those changes. And sync and push. So now because of this, it is going to trigger the build configuration one by one. So let me wait for TeamCity to sense the changes. So now the changes are here. So it has triggered the first build configuration, that is compile and build. So the first build configuration is done. Now it is going to trigger the second build configuration, that is deploy. Now when the deploy build configuration is done, it is going to trigger all this build configuration because they have dependency on the deploy. So the second build configuration is also done, and as you can see here, it has started the execution for the Chrome build configuration, similarly for the Firefox, and similarly for the IE. So this is for Chrome, this is for Firefox, and this is for IE. So now they are resolving the artifacts. So as you can see here, the tests are started in the Chrome. So as you can see here, the Chrome browser started and the Firefox is also running. As you can see here, this is the Chrome browser, this is the Firefox, and this is the IE browser. So as you can see here, the same test case are getting executed in multiple browser at the same time. So this is Chrome, this is Firefox, this is IE browser. So as you can see here, in all the three browsers, the test case execution is done. Now I can check the report from here. So artifact, this is for Chrome, this is for Firefox, and this is for IE. Okay, so 3 failure in Chrome, 4 failure in Firefox, and 3 failure again in IE. Okay, so in this manner you can run the same test case parallel in multiple browser. That's all for this video, and thanks for watching.